Hello! Welcome to The Big Question. I'm Clue Annie. Today, our big question is, what makes a good story? Are you ready? Then I will begin. From ancient traditional stories to modern graphic novels, people around the world have been sharing stories throughout history. Let's start by taking a look at some different kinds of traditional stories. Many traditional stories teach us something about our history or culture. They include legends, myths, and folk tales. Folk tales are stories that have been passed down from generation to generation. Legends are stories that teach us about historical events or local heroes, such as Robin Hood, the legendary hero of medieval England. Legends are based on real events or people, but we cannot prove they really happened. Myths try to explain how things came to be. Myths aren't realistic. They use magical details, such as the story Foxfires, which explains the origin of the aurora borealis as snow from a fox's tail. Other traditional stories, like fables, teach moral lessons. They show us how to behave. The Greek writer Aesop wrote lots of famous fables, which used animal characters. The moral of his story, The Tortoise and the Hare, is that it's better to work slowly and carefully than to rush and do things carelessly. But whatever you can learn from stories, many people, including me, just like to read literature for entertainment. What should I read next? How about this one? A good story can engage us completely and transport us into a different world. It can introduce us to new experiences and broaden our minds. And we all like different kinds of stories. Let's see what stories you enjoy. Mika likes fantasy. She writes, I like using my imagination. Fantasy stories are great because they have unusual settings and strange characters. I also like science fiction because imagining what future worlds will be like is fascinating. Ellen prefers realistic fiction. She writes, I like reading about things I recognize from my own life. You can relate to realistic characters more easily and understand what they are thinking and feeling. Bilal enjoys realistic stories too, but he wants an exciting plot. He writes, I like exciting adventure stories and real-life mysteries. I also love graphic novels and comics because stories that have lots of pictures are the most fun to read. Sorry. A good story can be many different things, but above all, we should want to read it. I like funny stories that make me laugh. What's your favorite kind of story? Okay, it's time for you to start thinking about how to answer today's big question. What makes a good story? Practice and remember these words, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Prove. Hero. Fantasy. Magical. Fable. Literature. Engage. Broaden the mind. Relate to. Graphic novel.